Texas is one of the more conservative states in the country, and they have tried to pour the Democrats have tried to pour money into Texas. Remember, turn Texas blue, the Texas Blue Project, and it failed miserably, pouring hundreds of millions of dollars, almost billions of dollars. And Texas delivered a triumphant victory for President Donald Trump. A 14-point victory is unthinkable margins. But what good is a 14-point victory for President Trump in Texas when you have Republicans that are going to work with Democrats to elect a Speaker of the House? Joining us now is Abraham George, chairman of the Republican Party of Texas. Abraham, welcome to the program. Abraham, please educate our audience on what is happening in the great state of Texas.
Charlie, thank you for having me here. Tomorrow is the speaker's race here in state of Texas, Texas House. And what we usually have for the last decade or so, a small group of Republicans going to Democrats, which is the minority party here. This time it is 62 members from the Democrat side, 88 from our side. Some Republicans will partner with the Democrats to choose a moderate or a rhino Republican, for lack of a better term, to put as a speaker. Then they will go and kill all the conservative bills in Texas House. The Texas Senate is very conservative. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and the group will pass good legislation. One of the legislation that got killed last time is the Chinese Communist Party and the Chinese government is buying land in Texas, especially around our military bases. And there was a bill to stop that. And some of the Republicans, along with all of the Democrats, said it's a racist bill and we're going to kill it. And they killed it. Now we have a national security issue in Texas. The last year, we talked about border protection while Biden was in office, and Texas did what we can do, but it could have been a lot better if we had a conservative speaker. This is the same group who went and impeached the Texas Attorney General. So this year, the party said, if we're not going to support a real Republican speaker who will support reforms in Texas House by putting only Republicans in committee chairmanship. That's another thing they do. They put Democrats in committee chairmanships and give a lot more power to Democrats than they deserve in Texas. So if we do that, we're going to not only come after you, we're going to censure you, we're going to put you we're going to educate your constituents, and we're going to come after you, basically. So this has been going on for the last couple of months. Governor Abbott is on board with the caucus nominee, which is David Cook. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is on board with it. All of our statewide elected officials are on board with it. Most of our county parties are on board with it. But a small group of Republicans joining the Democrats, most likely going to elect a speaker. At least they're going to try to do that tomorrow, which is what we're fighting at this point.
Yeah, so to walk through this, there is David Cook's, the conservative choice, Dustin Burrows, yourself, Cody Harris. So there's a lot of these different dynamics here. Can you just reinforce, though, that there's a group of Republicans that are willing to vote with a Democrat, or Democrats willing to vote with a Republican, or vice versa? Just, it's so hard for me to comprehend this.
So, in Minnesota, you heard this a couple of days ago, they have one seat majority, and they decided we're going to elect a speaker by the Republican caucus, which is the normal thing to do, which is what everybody does. In Texas, a group of Republicans will join the Democrats and elect a speaker who is backed majority by the Democrats. So
that's
the
unbelievable to me.
Yes, it's the craziest thing. And it started happening in 2008 when Barack Obama got elected. Our margins went down from 76 to 74, and we had two seat majority. So all these Republicans who were kind of like very Democrat in their heart, they said, well, this is an opportunity for us to go work with the Democrats and get a speaker who we can control. And that's what they've been doing ever since. Our margin now is 88. We actually had added 2 more seats to the Texas House this time around. We were 86. We have 88 members, and all we need is 76. But we can't get 76 Republicans to support the Republican nominee. they're supporting a Democrat nominee, or they're joining the Democrat Party to give power away to the Democrats. This is craziest thing in Texas. I don't know if you heard this. Don Jr. got involved in this and said, what are you all doing in Texas? This is not the right way to do things. President Trump won by 12 points. We flipped 12 out of the 14 South Texas counties. One of the counties have never elected a Republican for the last 130 years. We got Donald Trump elected at 14 points. We have a clear mandate. I mean, I listen to your show, and you understand this more than anybody. There is a clear mandate for the Republican Party and for the elected officials. And what we have in Texas is, unfortunately, a lot of these Republicans who used the party's name to get elected is real Democrats. And they're going to go put Democrats in charge. And parties are working against them. So we spent a lot of money over the last two and a half months educating our constituents, saying this is what's happening in Texas. And one of the legislators, Cody Harris, took that as a legislative bribery for the party to send mailers to his district, which will potentially affect his reelection, and filed a Texas ethics violation against me personally, saying the party chairman is bribing and threatening legislators, which is a crime punishable by a minimum of 2 years in prison. So this is how crazy they are, and how far they're willing to go against the party and the grassroots in Texas.
This is extraordinary stuff, Abraham. And so we see this kind of uniparty composition here. Is it time for widespread parties? And by the way, is there anything in the Constitution that prohibits a simple majority vote? Just so you guys understand, it would be like if we did a Speaker of the House in this current House, and we had to go get Nancy Pelosi and to go get Hakeem Jeffries to go support our speaker candidate, correct? Instead, no, it's Mike Johnson supported by only Republicans. Is that right, Abraham? And who came up with this stupid system?
That is absolutely right. So if 10 or 15 Republicans go to Jeffries and say, hey, if you put one of us as a speaker, but we will give you all the committee chairmanships you need, and we will pass all of your bills, and we will do everything you guys want. That's crazy. You don't see that in U.S. House. And then thank God we don't see that. I mean, I like that bipartisanships once in a while, but I don't want this. But that's what's happening in Texas. It's been going on for about 12 years, actually 14 years now. But ever since that tradition started, that's their excuse. Well, that's been a tradition in Texas. It's not. It started at the same time when Barack Obama got elected, because we did not have enough Republicans who had the balls to stand up and say, hey, we're going to still support a Republican nominee, and we're going to have a conservative as a speaker, and we're going to pass some conservative bills. But they're basically giving power away to Hakeem Jeffries, and that's exactly what they're doing in Texas House.
Abraham, I want to keep you for another segment here. Very interested in what's happening in Texas. What is the action item? You could just tease it, and we'll talk about it in the next segment. What is the action item? Well,
if you go to texasgop.org, you can see all the representatives who are Republicans who is supporting the Democrat nominee. And their phone numbers are there. The grassroots needs to get behind the Republican nominee and actually talk to their representatives and say, if you do this, we are going to primary you and we're going to get you out. That needs to come from the grassroots, from their district. That's the only thing that we can do at this point. We've done everything else. The people, the constituents need to wake up and say, well, this is not what we elected.